Shraddha.
For the record, I'm Sydney Forrester with the Governor's Policy Office. Thank you, Chair Darneal, Ranking Member Walsh, and Senator Wynn, and the rest of the committee members who hopefully will join. Senate Bill 6422 presents a really wonderful opportunity to begin building a more positive culture to better support children in out-of-home care. The Family Connections program provides a means of operationalizing a piece of legislation that has actually been on our books for 17 years, and it is aimed squarely at reducing the trauma associated with the child's removal from home. The Family Connections program was developed in partnership with parents, DCYF field staff, foster caregivers, kinship caregivers, some of whom you're going to hear from today. This is precisely the type of partnership and collaboration I believe that the Blue Ribbon Commission envisioned. It's time to make this very modest investment in the Family Connections program that will help parents and caregivers successfully connect, share information, and better meet the needs of children. Relationships are the agents of change, and this bill is about relationships. Initiating the Family Connections program can be the beginning of building a more positive, reflective, and supportive culture to better support children in out-of-home care. Thank you for your continued support of this child-centered proposal.
Good afternoon, Sandra Toussaint with the Washington Federation of State Employees. I'm here today to generally support this bill. We definitely support what the Family Connection Program is aiming for. We do have some concerns about protecting the integrity of the work that the social service specialists or caseworkers do for DCYF. So while we would like to see this move forward, we'd like to see it move forward with an amendment in there, or possibly a new section that states that any contract or can only supplement and in no way supplant the work that is currently done by those working for DCYF currently. Other than that, we're definitely in support of this bill and the program and what it's attempting to achieve. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Goldenberg. I'm a court-appointed special advocate in King County for the last 8 years. It's given me a window into the very difficult circumstances faced by both the foster families, relative caregivers, and the parents involved in dependency cases. I've had the pleasure of working on some cases that had foster parents that made incredible outreach to the parents involved, and were able to build really beautiful, trusting relationships that ultimately ended up in much better outcomes for the children involved. I call them my unicorn cases because they're beautiful and rare. That's not currently they're the exception, not the rule. Foster parents are not required to have contact with parents, and many choose not to. Relative caregivers may not have close relationships with these families. And there can be a lot of fear and misinformation on both sides. It can lead to months going by without a first meeting. It contributes to the overly litigious atmosphere of our cases. And I really believe that this program could go a long way towards improving the situation for our kids.
Thank you. Katie? Second panel?
Actually, Yvette, would you mind coming up as well? I'm not sure if we have enough space for everybody, but we'll bring up Katie Byron, Shraddha Sullivanoff, Desiree Bird, and if you can grab a seat for Yvette as well. Thank you so much.
Chairwoman Darneal, members of the committee.
Under the microphone there.
My name is Katie Byron, and I'm a foster and adoptive parent. I am testifying in support of the Family Connections program. Imagine a 1-year-old child is placed in your home today. As the caregiver, you want to comfort this child who is suffering the trauma of removal. As you struggle through a sleepless night for both you and the child, you wish you had a clue of how to soothe this little child. On the other side of this scenario is a parent who is not only grieving the removal of their child, but is filled with fear, wondering who has their baby. Sadly, this scenario plays out in different ways every day in foster care. I have been that foster parent struggling to comfort the crying child. I have worked with parents who struggle to engage in services because they cannot get past the fear of, is my child okay? And also caregivers who fear parents because they have only heard negative information. I myself have felt that fear and have cried those tears. This is the culture of foster care in Washington State. This must change. We cannot continue to allow fear to dominate foster care culture. The Family Connections program will help change the culture of foster care in Washington by developing a network of support. With the involvement of the state social worker, parents and caregivers will be supported in building these functional relationships. I have seen the positive results that occur when parents and caregivers form a partnership. Instead of an adversarial relationship that leaves the child caught in the middle, the child is supported by all the loving adults. However, in my years of being a foster parent, I have seen these are few and far between. My goal in designing this program was to help partnership become the norm, not the exception. I'm grateful for this was heard today, and I'm hopeful you will continue to support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, and thanks for all your work.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. I'm Shronda Sullivanoff with the Washington State PAC. I'm a parent ally and also a kinship caregiver for my grandson. I will never forget the day when I sat in a meeting and the foster parent said, "I cannot believe you're returning her to someone like her." What I recognized in that moment was I didn't have an ally, I had an adversary. What if the foster parent got to come along with me as I grew and I got sober? What if she actually got to see that I had changed my life and that I wanted to be a parent to my daughter? What if instead of having adversarial relationships, we had relationships that built and that children didn't have to miss people out of their lives? My daughter's eyes well up when she asks me questions about her beginnings that I don't have the answers to. My hope today is that we work on building relationships and not removing loving people out of children's lives. My daughter not only got a mother that day, but she lost someone that she loved very deeply that day too. So trauma was met with love, and there's something quite wrong with that. I hope that we will continue to create an environment that supports families and communities and foster parents, because also that day a foster parent lost someone that they loved too.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Desiree Bird. I'm a parent ally. I hope that you guys support this bill. I have an amazing foster parent, Miss Yvette, who is a foster parent to my daughter. Once my daughter, Yuvia Bird, seen the relationship that was forming between me and Miss Yvette, she became stable in her home. She wasn't having any more outbursts. She had the confidence that the path was for her to come home with me. I've not only gained a mentor, but I've gained a partner in my future career. I've gained a family. I've gained help and guidance in my parenting. If I'm struggling with my daughter, I'm able to call her up and take my daughter over there. She's not only there for the daughter that was placed with her, but she's there for my other children too. You know, my hope is that every person coming into a dependency hearing has the opportunity to build relationships and have that connection. You know, as of now, we're teaching our children that people are there in our lives and that they're ripped away. We're not teaching them stability and how to form and bond those relationships. So I'm so grateful that I'm here today and I'm able to speak on this bill. It's very close and passionate to my heart. And I'm so internally grateful that Ms. Yvette reached out to me when I was in treatment and started this relationship, even when everybody was not advising her to do so. Thank you for listening to me.
Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Yvette Meredith Cabero, and I'm in support of Senate Bill 6422. Like Desiree said, I was the foster parent for her daughter, and although this might not be ideal for every foster parent and birth parent, I think it's something that we really need to offer them and give them the chance to be able to build that bond. Desiree and her family have spent Christmas with us now. It's like we've just gained more family members. I have 4 children myself, so I think a lot of it too, we need to change that mindset about the foster parents and why are they getting into foster care. So if you're getting into foster care because you want to adopt a child, it's a little bit different. You know, I'm a helper. I want to help. I have the means to provide a stable home environment and help someone else with the things that they need. So that's what I'm doing, and it's worked out really well for us. And even now, like she said, she'll call and say, you know, Yuvia is acting up. You need to take her for the weekend. So I, you know, take her for the weekend, and she sees that, you know, we're together in this. We're not. It's not like I'm trying to take her child and keep her away from her mom. So I really hope that you support this and it gets passed, because it takes a village.
Thank you for your service, and congratulations to the moms who've been reunited. Okay.
Perfect. And then on the last panel, we'll have Courtney Canova, Ana Garcia, and Lori Lippold.
Hi, I meant to sign up for another bill, but anything that supports reunification or unification of family, I support.
That's a good testimony right there, so you're good. That's a good example of a good testimony.
But who was she? Go ahead.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Courtney Canova. I am the advocacy lead for the Children's Home Society of Washington. I'm here to testify in support of Family Connections. Apart from my role at Children's Home Society, I am an alumni of foster care. I aged out here in 2012 in Washington State. Youth in care, when we're in foster care, we're going through enough ambiguous trauma as it is, not understanding where our parents are, why they're gone, why we're in a new stranger's home. It's hard enough as it is. And then when we finally come around to getting comfortable in our new environment, changing our diets, changing our routines, getting to know these new people, beginning to love them and grow on them, we're taken away from them too. And there's no communication. We never get told why, let alone there's no communication between parents. There's no communication to the children. And yet again, I lost somebody that I loved. Not just now my parent, but now my foster parent. And this happens again and again and again. With programs and opportunities like this, we can build these relationships so not only youth can reunify faster, but then now in adulthood, we can have another person at our Christmas table, another person to call at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm freaking out about how do I file taxes? What happens if you get in a car accident? I need somebody at my wedding. I ask you, please support this bill and please support reunifying children and building relationships that last for a lifetime.
Okay, well, oh, that was powerful. Thank you very much. Senator Darnielle, members of the committee, I'm Lori Lippold with Partners for Our Children, speaking in strong support of Senate Bill 6422. I think that this is one of the few times I've seen such strong support from the aspects of the foster care system. The fact that we've got a variety of foster parents and foster parent groups, we have parent allies and other parents who strongly believe in this. We have the voice of those who are most affected, the children and youth in the system. We've got the executive branch behind us. We have advocates behind this. It is a significant change, or would be a significant change in the child welfare system, in how we do foster care in the state of Washington. And when I think about how we've been doing foster care in the state of Washington for decades, there have been a lot of improvements and a lot of good things have happened, but to really embody something that is a change that we want to see offered to everybody who comes through it. It does not make sense to have somebody go through what Courtney did to form those relationships, form those attachments, get pulled away, placed over here with people she had been pulled away from, and then have that severing permanently. And what we really want for children and youth is for them to feel loved by a lot of people, feel nurtured, feel safe, have stability in their lives. And the system has not really done a great job with that. So strongly support this. We thank you, Senator Darnielle, for your sponsorship, and we encourage your support. Thanks.
Thank you, Lori. With that, we'll close the hearing on 6422, and thank you all for coming. We're going to go back now to hear the public testimony on second substitute Senate Bill 5533 concerning the